everyone. Welcome to the Inventory Source podcast. Today we have Michael Shine from DiscountPetDeals.com. Michael, appreciate you joining today.
Great. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. No, glad to have you on. So yeah, we'd love to learn a little bit more about Discount Pet Deals, and you've been a customer with us for a little bit now, and I just wanted to have you on. I think it's a great looking website. It's a pretty cool, obviously popular niche that you're selling under. So would love to learn a little bit more about it and tell the listeners a little bit more about the company.
Yeah. So my name's Michael Shine. I'm the president and founder of DiscountPetDeals.com. We launched in October of 2017, so it's been about a year to date. We sell dog apparel, bowls, toys, leashes, collars, harnesses, basically all revolve around sports, all the major sports like NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL. And how we started was pretty interesting. I wanted to get into this. I think e-commerce is an emerging industry to be in. And I did have experience in e-commerce, so I thought it'd be good to launch, this business based on my love for pets and also my love for sports. So I thought it was a good fit. Did a lot of research on the industry as a whole. And in terms of what people like to spend on and what people buy online, a lot of people buy products for their children, for their babies, and they also like to buy things for their dogs. And through all the research that I did, found that this would be a good niche to really dive into, and it's been very exciting. We've grown tremendously within this year. Obviously learning a lot of new things, really getting started, and just being a new business owner, it's very exciting and challenging, and looking forward to where it's going to take me.
No, very cool. And you mentioned kind of just getting started, but at the same time, it's been a year and it sounds like you guys have seen some growth. What would you kind of contribute that growth to? Is there any kind of marketing strategies you can offer, any kind of, successes along the way in this first 12 months, which I think a lot of people might struggle in, right, in that first year? Any advice you can provide on what has worked for you and why you might see some growth?
Yeah, I mean, it really, at the end of the day, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment. You really got to full steam, really spend a lot of time and be, very motivated and very involved in the business. Obviously, in the beginning, there's a lot of, challenges, but I think the way we really differentiate is, we're utilizing social media platforms tremendously, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. In addition to that, we're doing a lot of Google AdWords, which we're seeing a lot of orders coming in, and I think for us, it's the customer service that we're providing our customers, and that's really helping us grow. And we're getting repeat customers coming back, and a lot of customers are reaching out and say, "Hey, your website is very, very neat, and we really like the products that you have, and the prices are very competitive, and we're getting the products in a really good, timely manner." So, it's just that commitment using social media. We also do a lot of networking with dog groomers in New Jersey, New York. In terms of reaching out and saying, "Hey, what customers of yours can you introduce us? We've seen you," and give the referrals back to them. So that's really how we've been getting the business and how we've seen pretty good growth in this first year.
Would you say that you mentioned Google AdWords? Would you say that a lot of that's in the Google Shopping side of Google AdWords, where you show the image and the price and kind of that top result? Is that most of where that AdWords spend is going, or is it more in the text-based AdWords?
No, it's in the Google Shopping AdWords, the first one you mentioned. That's where we're getting a lot of our business and our clicks from.
Yeah.
That for right now, I think the majority of our business is coming from the Google AdWords. I would say 80 to 90% is coming from that, and then the additional percentages are coming from the Facebook, Instagram, and things like that.
Yeah, and I've heard that as a very common approach to compete with Amazon, right? There's a lot of buyers out there that the first place they go is Amazon, and they start typing in what they want there. The other side of the buyers, the other percentage of them are going to shopping or Google, and they're seeing those top shopping results and they're clicking there. I've heard great things. We've done a lot on our side, testing out for clients in the past. At least for myself, I've done a lot of consulting when it comes to that. It's usually cheaper, and the conversions are great. So it's interesting to hear that you're getting a lot of traffic there. I think that's a great way to at least fire up the business in that first year, is to have that ad budget, rather than just kind of go in purely organic and purely from a social perspective, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and the research we've done and what we've heard is, the Google AdWords is really where it's going. I mean, Facebook and Instagram and the other social media channels definitely generate the business, but we're finding that the Google ad space is really what's going to grow the business
Sure.
and get those orders coming in.
Well, yeah, it's lower in the funnel, right? People are searching for something specific, and they're typing in the keywords that your products are ranking for, because it is still kind of that in the Google Shopping world. I know it's not all, you can't just buy the keyword. I mean, you definitely try to pay for certain keywords, but you still have to rank for them, based on your product description and stuff like that. But yeah, when I bring up competing with Amazon, how does that play into your decision making? Do you sell? I'm not sure if you know this completely or not, as far as your product mix, but are you competing on just about 100% of your products? Are they available on Amazon, and how do you kind of look to compete? Or maybe you say, hey, Amazon's this behemoth, they're a giant beast, they're going to get their sales. I'm going to try to get the stuff that doesn't go to them. Well, how does that factor into your business strategy?
Right. Yeah, and we have customers reaching out to us saying, we do see some of the products on Amazon channels, but even though with the Prime shipping, you're getting free shipping, your products and are very diverse, and the product cost is actually cheaper that they're seeing comparable to Amazon. Even if we have a shipping cost associated to that, there's still the customers are reaching out and saying, yeah, we see the products on Amazon, but you look a lot more competitive even with the shipping costs that are involved, because obviously we're not providing free shipping. I mean, right now we're doing free shipping over $49. But being that we're first starting out, our prices, obviously the margins aren't high right now. We're just trying to grow our customer base and
Yeah,
get our name
yeah, that's
out there.
interesting that you guys are actually cheaper, in some cases, than Amazon. That's kind of rare, and I would assume, especially for someone that is heavily drop shipping. And are you guys 100% drop shipping today? Are you buying anything wholesale?
No, we're doing 100% drop shipping right now through a drop shipper in Arkansas.
Okay, perfect. Just one drop shipper.
Yeah, we're using one drop shipper right now.
Okay. Are you looking to expand at all, or are they kind of all you need right now, and there's no real strategy to expand to more suppliers currently?
Yeah, I mean, they work well right now. We're working well with them. They have a good product set, very diverse. And for now, I think we're going to stick with that. But we're definitely, as we grow this and get it to a point where, it's stable and growing, then we're going to look to do additional product sets and potentially
Right.
work with other drop shippers. But for now, we are where we are, and we're very happy with the company we're working with right now.
Very cool. And I'm curious when it comes to licensed products, right? NFL, NCAA, NHL, stuff like that, NBA. Obviously, there's this whole process of going through and getting, the approval to sell these products, which I'm assuming your drop shipper does, and then somehow passes on to you. I'm curious if you can provide any kind of insight on how that works, on you being able to sell that, or if you ever have been called out by someone and reaching out and saying, "Hey, do you have approval to sell these products?" I'm just curious if you ever run into that, or if there's any concerns with when it comes to selling licensed products.
Yeah, that's a great question because we did run into a problem. A couple months in, all of a sudden, a representative from Shopify actually reached out to us and said, "Hey, are these licensed products that you're selling?" So we actually had to go back to our drop shipper, and they had to provide a document stating that they have the permission to sell these licensed products from NFL, NBA, MLB. So yeah, we did run into a little roadblock there. We actually Shopify was not passing along the payments, so we were putting out orders and not being able to collect the monies back, and that lasted for about 9 days.
Yeah.
So that was the first challenge that we saw as doing this and selling these kind of licensed products. But once we got the letter over to Shopify from the drop shipper, everything was fine, and it hasn't been anything since.
Great. Very cool. Yeah, that's we're starting to see that more and more, where Shopify payments because it's kind of an aggregated Stripe account, they're super risk adverse. And whether it's fragrances that might be brand name and might have high risk of counterfeit, or if it's licensed goods that obviously have high risk of legal impact, or if it's things like supplements and things like that. Shopify Payments has gotten super strict, but it's great to hear that 9 days was all the impact you saw. The platform's great, obviously, right? It's a great platform. I'm curious if you guys evaluated any other platforms next to Shopify, or you just kind of went straight into Shopify just because of kind of its brand in the marketplace.
Yeah, the brand that Shopify had, and just doing the research, I think it's a great platform, and we're very happy with it. I don't see
Yeah,
us diverting for that,
yeah,
at the moment. It's a very good platform.
no, definitely. Cool. So, obviously there's a little hiccup there in the getting started, but I'm curious if you can share anything in the first 12 months. One of the toughest things that you've seen just kind of getting going in e-commerce and drop ship and just the online retail world in general. Is there anything you could share that might have been one of the toughest hurdles you had to kind of get past, and maybe it's something recent, maybe it was just getting started, but anything you can share there?
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to put the hours in the beginning. It's a lot to get it going. The development of the website, bringing the products in, integrating, so that takes some time. So just getting it going, and then just obviously, no one knows the brand, so you have to do a lot of posting, get your Google Ads set up. So it takes up. There's a lot of time involved in it, but the time is that you spend is definitely well spent, because now it's we're kind of scaling and we're growing, and just being a new business owner, it's there's things you have to do. It's not, obviously not a 9 to 5 job. You really got to put a lot of time and effort into it, but I think this is a great industry to be in. In terms of the products for pets, buyers definitely are interested in it, and yeah, it's just going to
Yeah,
take more hard work, and determination. But I think we have the right channels set in place, and the right mindset. So I really see the company growing,
for
taking it
sure.
to the next level.
Now you said you had some background in e-commerce. Have you hired anyone to help out, whether it's with web design or marketing or anything?
No, I actually I have experience in the e-commerce logistics space, so I kind of get e-commerce. Actually, a good friend of mine is a drop shipping company as well, and he helped me out tremendously, and he still kind of consults with me, and he really built the site for me, and did a lot of the back end. So very appreciative to him for helping me do that, and it's just a really exciting time right now.
Very cool. So, as far as leveraging inventory source and things like that, I'm assuming that you used us to load the products and sync inventory. Is that kind of how you utilizing our software today? And then also, is there any other software out there that you're using that you might recommend?
Yeah, it's been great working with Inventory Source. Everything, all the product SKUs, upload, onboarding with Inventory Source was, quick and easy, and it's really been working out well. And it also gives us the potential to work with the different suppliers that are in your platform. So it's been a really good experience.
Cool, cool. Anything else that you're looking? I mean, I'd like to think, uploading all the products and syncing the inventory, we're pretty integral as far as the Shopify app that you've got installed. Any other apps that you might use that you'd recommend?
We use Mint, Flickr, a couple different apps that we're using right now. Yeah,
Mint, the
yeah,
financial
yeah,
app,
yeah.
or
The
what?
financial app, Yotpo, for reviews. So we're using different apps.
Cool. Cool. And you mentioned prior to the interview that the long term goal is to do this full time. So I'm assuming, like you, like many other dropshippers out there, you are just doing this part time. Maybe have your main gig. This is kind of a side gig, kind of seeing it as it scales. And one of the long term goals is to be doing this and focus on this full time. What's your kind of goals there with full time? Do you have a certain number you need to hit in orders or revenue, or is there a timeline you're looking at? I'm just curious on how you're tracking towards that goal.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, obviously, this is a part time, but really full time thing I'm doing. But I see within the next year or two, really growing the business and continuing to increase the revenue, increase the orders, doing right by the customer service, gaining those repeat customers. So I really think the sky's the limit, and my hope is within 2 years that I could be doing this as a full-time thing. And it's, my love for sports, my love for dogs, like I said in the beginning, is really why, I decided to go into this market. And I think it's a great vertical to be in. Just to give you another background, as we were doing research, my wife actually was listening to the radio one day, and they were talking about how people would spend their last dollar if they had it on their pets, and that really clicked. That people do love their pets, and
Yeah.
after their children, people want to get things for their pets, and a lot of people love sports. So that was kind of one of the key components of really starting it. And I'm thankful to my wife for sharing that with me. And she said, she came home and she said, "Hey, I heard on the radio, I know you're thinking about doing, different verticals, and I really think this is a good vertical." So that it worked out really well.
Mhm. That's interesting. It's funny. Today's been all about pets. I feel like I was in a meeting earlier, and we've got this program IS Direct where we're starting to make products in different niches available. And the guy that's running it here at Inventory Source, who runs the IS Direct division, brought up. He goes, "Man, we just brought on this new supplier. It's a different supplier than yours." And he's like, "Wow, it's just the pets. Like the pet industry is just like it's blowing up because." At least from our standpoint, we just added this product category, and I was like, is it just because that certain customer is able to push traffic, or is it because he's listing it here or there? And he was bringing up the same thing. He goes, "I think people just like buying products for their pets. It's an easy purchase. It's more of like a gift, and you don't have to. It's not like the transactional gift you have to give to a person. Do they like it? Do they not like it?" He brought up the same point that it's very easy for people to justify a purchase for their pets, and I think there's something to that.
Definitely. And I think,
So it's super
yeah,
interesting.
and I think a lot of buyers, especially I think our busy time is from September to December, because right now, we have MLB, right? We have the playoffs, we have NFL
Hmm.
started, we have NHL, NBA is kicking off. So right now is a busy time, and buyers want to put their favorite jersey for their favorite team on their pets for Sunday watching football, and that's really what people are doing. And for the playoffs or for baseball, they want to support their team, and they put their dog in their pet jersey of their
Yeah.
favorite team. So now is a really really exciting, and it's a really busy time right now. It's probably the busiest time of the year with all the major
For
sports kind
sure.
of together right now.
So you mentioned did a lot of research, right? Getting started and doing this whole thing and launching it. There's a lot of naysayers out there online about dropship and it being not really a true business, or it's a scam, or whatever you might read online. I'm just
Right.
curious if you came across any of that, and just your feedback, seeing the success you've had, and what's your take on that kind of that out in the world and online. What's your take on it? Kind of seeing what you've seen over the past 12 months.
Yeah, I think for someone, if they want to be an entrepreneur and this is what they really want to do, I think drop shipping is a great platform and a great channel to start, because you don't need the high um, you know the ton of money to start the business, right? You don't need a warehouse, you don't need to hire employees. So it's a very minimal risk and a minimal investment to start a business that could really scale, and it's definitely paid dividends. And I definitely wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I always had that fear of, hey, I'm going to put a ton of money into a business and it may fail.
Mhm.
But with drop shipping, obviously people, you can't control the inventory, things like those are the kind of the things that you hear, but you also don't need a huge startup investment, and you can turn it into a really scalable business.
Right.
So I think for me, drop shipping has been a great thing, because wanting to be an entrepreneur, but not wanting to take that risk of investing in a lot of money and potentially not knowing. But if you
Sure.
put the work in, you roll the sleeves up every day, you do right by the customer, and just loving pets and loving sports, and I think it's just been a
Mhm.
great journey, and I'm looking forward to what it's going to bring. So I'm excited for.
Yeah, for sure. And it's allowed you. Yeah, and it's allowed you to kind of start, you said do right by the customer, start getting customers, right? I mean, it gets you off the ground, you're building a brand around discount pet deals. Sure, the margins might not be as, thick as you'd hope if you're buying wholesale or whatever it might be, but allows you to kind of, make some money on the product transactions, build a customer base, build an audience, maybe eventually start determining what products you can sell through your audience, buying wholesale. So it's great to see, someone that's able to kind of start off in that pure dropship side of things and learn how to scale it there, and then obviously take it from there, whether it's just by adding products or not.
No, yeah, it's been great.
Well, cool. Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that we should have, or any questions I didn't ask that we probably should have before we go here?
No, I think we covered a lot. I really appreciate this. I appreciate Inventory Source. It's been great working together, and I really enjoyed this conversation, and look forward to continue to grow, and yeah. So I just really appreciate the opportunity to do this.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Michael, for being on the podcast today, and best of luck to you in the future. Have a good one.
Thank you. I appreciate it.